Yo guys, what's up? It's Gilbert. Today we're going to be installing the newly released ignition coils for the N20, N26. This ignition kit includes the ignition coil harness, 4 ignition coils, and the bracket with the hardware that secures the coils to the bracket, the hardware to secure the bracket to the frame, and the 4 spark plug wires. Alright, so we're going to get started with the installation. Make sure to find the biggest 10mm socket / ratchet combination you can find and get to work. Go ahead and give these guys about a quarter turn. That's going to allow you to remove this piece, the cowl piece, from that side. And this side, same thing. One there, there, and there. Now we can go ahead and remove the engine cover. It's just got some rubber grommets. Pop those out. The whole thing comes out. You've got the sound dampening material underneath the engine cover. Be careful removing this. If you haven't removed it before, it might get caught on some of the things back there. I've previously removed this many times, so just kind of lift up and pull. They do tear very easy, so be careful when pulling them from that area back there. You've got 1, 2, 3 10mm bolts that you have to remove from this side, and you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 on this side. There's this push pin right here. Don't forget to remove that so you can remove this whole rubber piece. So now that we've removed all the cowl components, we can go ahead and remove the ignition coils. One thing to keep in mind, make sure you keep ignition coil harness for cylinder 1 here, for cylinder 2 here, and so on. You don't want to mix those up. You don't want to end up with cylinder 2 on cylinder 1 and cylinder 1 on 2. Otherwise, you're going to end up with misfires on startup, and you don't want that. Now it's time to install your ignition coil harness. These guys here with the PR logo are going to connect to your stock harness. The PR ignition kit comes with 4 wires. 2 are the same length. One is long, one is short. The longest one is going to go on cylinder number 4. The 2 same length ones are going to go on cylinder number 2 and 3, and your shortest one is going to go on cylinder number 1. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with cylinder number 1, which is going to be your shortest wire. In a previous video, I did a demonstration and showed my method of installing the spark plug wires to make sure that they're properly secured into each cylinder. And if you haven't watched it, this is the method here. So pull the little skirt back. And once you do that, you can go ahead and position the spark plug wire, the boot, into the cylinder, press down firmly, and that's pretty much it. So give it a tug. It doesn't pop out. That is the biggest thing that we see with people installing the PR ignition kits. They don't properly secure the spark plug wires into each cylinder, and then they tend to pop out, or they don't stay properly secured, so you end up with a misfire. Not so much under at idle, but under load, or when at higher boost levels. Let's move on to cylinder number 2. Pull the skirt back. Actually, what I forgot to mention, sometimes it's not a straight shot. You'll see you got this little notch here, and then you've got these 2 alignment pins there on the cylinder head. Sometimes it's not a straight shot. You have to find that sweet spot to make sure that they do sit properly. You will know once the spark plug wire has seated onto the spark plug. Again, like this one here was a straight shot onto the alignment tabs on the cylinder head, and so that one was easy. For the most part, they are very easy to install. Like that one there. Let's see if we get it properly secure. Yep. So that was a little notch here on the spark plug wire. Matches up with the notches on the cylinder head. Give that a tug. That is not coming out. All right, let's move on to cylinder number 3. Pull the skirt back. Try to find that sweet spot where it engages onto the spark plug. That one there was a little bit more difficult. I did pull the skirt back, and I had to kind of move it around to find that sweet spot where it was engaging onto the spark plug. But once you find it, quick firm push, give it a tug, and you're good to go. All right, let's finish off with cylinder number 4. Pull the skirt back, and let's find that sweet spot. Actually, that one went on way easier than cylinder number 3. Route your wire down like that. Now that we have the spark plug wire secured and the ignition coil wire harness routed properly and connected, we can move on to installing the ignition coil bracket with the coils down towards the chassis. So using the hardware that comes with the kit, you're going to secure your ignition coils to the bracket, and they're going to go in order. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to match up with the length of your spark plug wires and your ignition coil wire, which I will demonstrate in a bit. You have this 10mm bolt here. That is going to end up going here on this little arm on the bracket. You also have 2 other holes down here, which are going to be used with this hardware here that comes with the kit as well. Those guys there are going to go through here and here. It's kind of hard to see, but overall the bracket, the ignition coil bracket, is going to end up sitting like that. And then all the wires end up routing down this way. Spark plug wire for cylinder number 1, connected here. Remember, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So cylinder number 2, spark plug wire, connect it there. Cylinder number 3, route it down this way. goes there. And last but not least, cylinder number 4 connects here to the last one. All right, let's go ahead and do the ignition coil harness. Now that we have installed these spark plug wires, we can go ahead and install the ignition coil harness. So this last one here, the end, is going to go on cylinder number 1. The next one's going to go to cylinder number 2. This one here, the third one, is going to go to cylinder number 4. And the last one up here is going to go to cylinder number 3. Make sure that they are in the same exact order that I just mentioned, otherwise you will have misfires. That completes the installation part of the PR ignition kit. Let's go ahead and start the vehicle, make sure we get no misfires. And if we do have a misfire, then that means that we connected something incorrectly, or it's not properly seated. Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a go. Starts right up, no misfires. No rough idle, no misfires. We're good. That completes the installation process for your F chassis 1 series, the 2 series, the 3 series, and the 4 series. I know for a fact this is not going to work on the 5 series simply because the coolant reservoir tank sits on this side, and of course that's going to be in the way. The whole process is quite easy, especially because we only have 4 cylinders. Not too many things to remove. Everything's just pretty much all we needed was a 10mm socket to gain access to those bolts over there by the cowl, and then the ones to attach the bracket to the chassis, and that other bolt over on the side. Other than that, if you have any questions, feel free to send me post a comment or send me a DM. And you can follow me on Instagram, E46M3LOL. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me there as well. All right, see you guys later.